Have a fun trip? It was nice. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, not getting to see family in a long time. Okay, that's perfect.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to see all your smiling faces today. It gives me a little bit of energy for the week. Dr. McDonald, would you lead us in our invocation, please?
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we come before His throne of grace and mercy. In the humble manner, Father, we just say thank you for allowing us to have another fellowship and bring us through this crisis, oh God, this pandemic. We thank you, God, for delivering us. Lord, we ask this now that you touch each and every one of the sound of my voice. Bless their families. Bless this Rotary Club, oh God, and help us to be fruitful. Look down upon the speaker today. Bless him as he bless our hearts. Give us something that we need today. Father, I pray that you would just touch each and every one. Bless the Rotary Foundation. Bless our leaders. Look down upon the whole world, God, and give peace. We need your peace. We need your joy. And I ask that you bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies. Sanctify and purify. Bless the head for the will prepare. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Courtney, would you introduce our guests today, please?
Of course, we're very lucky to have a couple of guests today. We have Jack Lanier with us today, and he works for Bullet Investigations, and he joined us today just on his own, so we're glad to welcome him today.
Welcome, Jack.
And Paul Kaiser is here with Bill House. Yeah, so he's our guest today.
My next.
Yep, you're next. Yep. Turn it over to Bill Coates.
I'm next.
You are next.
Real quick, just I always like to do local stuff. The Tyler Junior College Apache baseball team won their 6th NJCAA Division III College World Series last week. Kid hit a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the 8th. On that note, one other TJC note, their women's soccer team in the national semifinals this afternoon. I think they're playing that tournament in Georgia. UT Tyler will be in the news right now, but since they joined the Lone Star Conference about a year and a half ago, there's still, I guess, kind of a probationary period in time the NCAA you move around and move up. They put you on a probationary period for a couple of years, so the Patriots would more than likely be able to be in the playoffs in just about every sport, but they can't do that yet. I think next year that probationary period goes away. And then maybe you follow college baseball, but the NCAA playoffs begin over the weekend. Texas and Texas Tech both won their way into their Super Regional, which is the last step before Omaha in the College World Series. So they both get to host this weekend. And just kind of a little local twist, I was really rooting for Louisiana Tech. One of my son's best friends is a kid named Parker Bates. Some of you may know him. You know his dad, probably David, who is the general manager of Pelton Chevrolet. Parker is a really, really good baseball player. I think he has a chance to play in the major league someday. He's a center fielder for Louisiana Tech. And he was batting, he's had a great career there. He got to play next year because of COVID and came back to Louisiana Tech. They hosted a regional this weekend. They got beat yesterday by North Carolina State in Ruston. So they stopped a little bit short of their goal. And in his last college baseball game, Parker hit 2 home runs and a triple. And drove in most of their runs. He drove in 5. He had a wonderful career. The Major League Draft is next month, and I'm hoping that the young man gets a chance to go and play for money somewhere. And I think he does have that opportunity, but he's a really, really good kid. Where'd I take this one?
Just back up here. We'll work.
Back up there.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. I also want to welcome Greg Watson. I meant to do this at the last meeting. Greg's a long-term member of our club that took a little bit of time off. I hope this appearance here means that he's coming back to join us soon. So, welcome, Greg. We have a couple of birthdays and anniversaries to talk about. Randy Marshall just had a birthday on June 1st. Happy birthday, Randy. Sheila Austin's birthday is this week. She's probably watching us via YouTube. She usually watches us via YouTube. And Michael Yanez also has a birthday this week. Randy also is celebrating 2 years of being a Rotarian. Tom DeWitt, I don't know if he's on the YouTube yet or not, but he's at 48 years this month. David Roberts has 23 years. Michael Hurley is 4 years, and I start my 7th year. All right. So, I would like, we have a new member to install today, so if Clay White can come on up front with me, that would be great. That's for you. Told him to put them on the spot. So, this is Clay White. He is our newest member of our club. We're swearing him, we're installing him today as a new member. So I want to officially welcome you to our club. I want to present you with a certificate of membership. May it be known that Clay White is a member of good standing with the Rotary Club in South Tyler and has thus afforded the fellowship and privileges of such membership.
Thank you very much.
I'm also going to pin you. Wear your Rotary pen with. Okay. Can't do it all. There we go. And then I have a little handout, a little package for you. It's got a little bumper sticker for your car. It's got the Rotary basics in it. It's a reference guide for members and some little 4-way test handout as well. So this is all for you. So welcome to the club. I hope all you guys will help make Clay feel welcome, introduce him to just the things that we do in Rotary, invite him to a project or maybe out to coffee one day. So the other thing we're going to do is our Rotary Spotlight. And I don't think you've had an opportunity, I don't think you've had an opportunity to maybe see one of these yet, but it's just asking you a little bit about yourself. And so Johnny uses this thing called form. So the first thing is like your work, or no, your family.
I'm married to Johnette White. We've been married for 37 years. I've got 3 children. My oldest is 30 years old, who's cleaning up her apartment this morning in DC from a hot water heater overflowing. She's a graduate from Grace Community High School and also went to A&M, and then UTMB. She's a physician assistant at Children's Hospital in DC, where she's been for 4 years. I've got a 28-year-old Bradley, who graduated from Grace, went to University of Tulsa, played football there, got a degree in finance, and now is in Special Forces at Fort Bragg. And he's crawling around in the dirt instead of working with numbers. So anyway, so he's in Green Beret program there in Fort Bragg, and then I have a younger son who's 26, who I just took to Virginia this weekend. And as a matter of fact, you guys know him, Blake White, who in fact gave him an International Rotary Scholarship, which basically put him through his master's degree. And now he is employed with the Department of Defense, but with the Defense Intelligence Agency in Virginia. And I just delivered all his furniture to him in a U-Haul truck for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And got him situated there, but he now works for the Department of Defense in program involving weapons of mass destruction, and not creating them, but finding them and getting rid of them. So he's an international counterintelligence officer for the DIA. He's also a Naval Reserve intelligence officer for the United States Navy. So my kids and my wife, and we've been here for 30 years, moved here in September of '91. I work at a law office. I have a law office downtown. I've been there for 30 years, and that's that.
So does your law office have a specialty, or is it?
Yeah, I defend people who get sued. I don't sue anybody. I have a lot of friends who sue people. That's just the way that works. But all the billboards out there, all of those, I'm on the other side of every one of those billboards. So, so that's what my job is, and I've done that for 30 years. I defend people and companies who get sued.
And you mentioned, besides taking your kids' furniture halfway across the country, what type of recreational hobby things do you have?
Well, involved in church, of course, was involved First Baptist Church for the last 30 years, involved there. So been involved with the ministry, deacon ministry, and other things at First Baptist. Of course, I did everything at school with Grace while we were there. And of course, every sporting event my kids were involved in, from, little dribblers to whatever. But right now, all my kids are on the East Coast for a while. I'm trying to get them back, and eventually. But they're there, so I have more time to do things I probably haven't had a chance to do before. So.
And the M, the form, the M is motivation. What motivates you?
Motivating me, basically helping and serving, and that's what I've basically done. My job is a little different in that it's work, but it's a service to help people in that area, and then I serve at church. And so my motivation is trying to do the right thing and being a good person and being a good Christian and trying to do what I should be doing the right way.
And then the last question, why Rotary?
It's a great service organization. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I followed more recently, of course, because Blake's involvement with this club, and so I got involved and started looking at the club, and I have not been involved in other things other than church and than Grace School in the past, and this is something that a great organization to be involved in.
Great. Well, welcome, Clay. Congratulations. And here is your packet.
Thank you very much. I
Welcome.
appreciate it.
Lee Montgomery, you want to head up this way? As you'll notice on our calendar of events, we don't have a lot of stuff going on for the rest of this Rotary year. We're trying to get a few things scheduled between now and the end of June, but I'm kind of on short timers right now. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But coming up, June 28th, that will be my last official meeting as president, and we are going to be doing a couple different things. We're going to be wrapping up my year, and I'll have some awards to give out, such as Rotarian of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. I'll recognize our board of directors, and then we will install President Beth for the beginning of her term, and we'll give out some community service awards. So we don't need to have a 100% definite that you are or aren't coming, but we just have to get a good name count for food so that we know how much food you're planning for. I sent out an email earlier last week. If you've not had a chance to respond to that, please do so, and it's also in this week's bulletin. Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. Bruce, I need 2 Bruce. The reason I'm up here today is just to announce and remind all of you that are in pursuit of a contribution to the Rotary Foundation that the Matching Points program has been extended to June the 20th. June the 20th, you are You get matching points for every dollar above $100 that you donate to the Rotary Foundation. You get a matching point toward your Paul Harris. So either your initial or your multiple situation. So I'd like to thank Steve Orlando for his contribution this morning. He will peg his next Paul Harris level. So please remember June the 20th. We're trying to beat the clock, beat the Rotary clock, and get the contributions in so that we make that mark and get everybody advanced, hopefully. So, if you have any questions, let me know. I can get you current numbers. I did not bring the report with me today, but I can get it. And with a phone call or email, we can discuss that really quick. So, oh, and also, there was an anonymous donor that not only are going to get the matching program, that's a district program for the club level. If you give $100 or more, there will be another 100 points added to your matching points. So anyway, it won't take much to make an advancement. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Lee. If you guys recall, one of the first meetings that we had where we started talking about raising funds for the Rotary Foundation, and I think at the end of April, somebody asked how much money we had donated as a club at that point. And if I remember, was the number about $193,000? Does that sound right, about $193,000? Well, I looked at the report last night, and since then, we are over $200,000. So thank you to this club for your contributions. And I'd just like to reiterate that yes, we're asking you for money, and we ask you for money for a lot of different things, and we know that some people, that's a difficult challenge to face. But if you're able and willing to donate to our projects and to the Rotary Foundation or bring canned foods, we really appreciate it. It's all for a good cause, and if you were here last week or 2 weeks ago, you got to see kind of how the money multiplies by what we contribute, and then we can apply for other grants. So it's a great opportunity to help out our club as well as Rotary across the world. Are there any other announcements before I turn the program over? I'm assuming you're introducing. Any other announcements from the board? Rob?
How our spaghetti and dinner turn out? What are we on?
The last numbers I saw before I went on vacation, I think we got a really nice donation of $2,500 from one organization that came in after the fact. I want to say we're just shy of $20,000, but I believe that Tom Seal's not here, so there might be more stuff in the mail, and so there's still opportunities to do. I got some money.
At 500.
At 500, wonderful. Thank you, Roger. Anybody else? I'll take your money. Come on, everybody else.
Mention one thing. I wrote a series of grants that go along with this. The thing you have to remember is some of those grants, their boards will meet until the middle of the summer, so we may see some money from that regard also. Thank you.
And I still want to make certain that everybody understands that, yeah, our spaghetti supper looked a lot different, and maybe we didn't raise nearly the types of funds that we had in the past, but it was tremendously successful. We got our name out there in the newspaper, we served food to needy organizations, and we had over 50% of our club participate, so that just is a very successful project. I wish Beth was here. She's on vacation with her family, so I know she's enjoying herself at the beach. Hopefully it's not raining like it is here. Any other announcements? All right, Colleen, can you come on up and introduce our guest speaker, please?
Okay, so I've got two gentlemen here today. We've got Jeffrey Harmon, who is the Director of Transportation Planning and Development from TxDOT. And Vernon is actually going to be our speaker today. He is also here. He is our TxDOT Area District Engineer. Vernon worked 5 summers in Henderson and Jacksonville maintenance offices for TxDOT while pursuing his engineering degree from UT. There's a few UT fans. Upon graduating in May of 1995, he started full-time with TxDOT, sorry, thanks, as an engineering assistant in the Palestine area office, working in design and construction project management. He has served in a plethora of positions at TxDOT. Today, he is the highest position you can be in a district. How many counties are in our district? 8. So today, he's the highest he could possibly be for this area. He's over 8 counties. And he served as a deputy district engineer, which is like the vice president before he became president, if you will, before becoming district engineer September 1st of 2020. So any tech stop questions you might have, Vernon has the answers. Vernon or Jeffrey, one of the two. So with that position, he works closely with our NPOs, NRMA, my area, East Texas Rural Transportation Planning Organization, and numerous internal and external partners to make transportation happen for all of us in East Texas. He's been married 26 years, he has 2 grown children, and he loves to hunt, fish, and spend time in the outdoors. Please help me welcome Kermit back.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Don't make me sound really important. I need to bring her back to the office with me. So again, I'm Vernon Webb, Tyler District Engineer. Mr. Harmon and I have worked together for a long time. His role is a role I held previously, which is to develop projects, get the right of way involved, get the utilities moved. It's a fun job. I did it for a while, and I was glad that Mr. Harmon took it over. I'm glad to have him with me here today. I'm glad to be out. It's the first time I've been out about a year and a half, so I'm just glad to be seen and get out a little bit. Give you a little bit of history about the Tyler District. We've got about 6,600 square miles, 8,912 lane miles. We've got Anderson, Cherokee, Gregg, Henderson, Russ, Smith, Van Zandt, and Wood counties. We have 4 area offices, one in Tyler, one in Longview, one in Athens, and one in Mineola. Each area office handles construction and maintenance for 2 counties. Each county, has a maintenance office. So we've got 8 maintenance sections and 4 area offices. We always try to talk about safety in every meeting we're invited to or hold, and so I want to start off with a little bit on safety. We've got our industry campaign that you may or may not have heard about. This November 7th will be 21 years since we've gone one day without having a fatality on our roadways. And more often than not, it's multiple fatalities. I think there was a day where we had one, but it's something that's important, something Kathy White, I think you'll know Kathy, is heavily involved in, and we're going to continue to talk about in the street. It's a challenge, but it's something we believe we can do if everybody does their part. So in 2020, there were 3,895 fatalities in Texas. 1,353, almost 35% of those fatalities were single vehicle runoff road crashes, which that statistic has been pretty consistent for the last 10 or 12 years that I've been tracking that. Given similar presentations to other Rotary meetings, and kind of looked at this many times through the years, around 40% is where that number continues to stay. That's a little bit scary. These are people, a lot of times it's one person in the car driving off the road and not wearing a seatbelt or striking a fixed object. About 10% of those are cited distractions as a contributing factor. I'm sure as our police officer in the room, Chip would tell you, it's pretty difficult to determine what's distraction, what's not. I think we would all agree that number is probably much higher. It's just difficult sometimes to know. 33% of those cited drug and alcohol as a contributing factor, and about 28% cited failure to use seatbelts as a contributing factor. It's something that you'd be surprised how many people still don't wear a seatbelt. 168 of those fatalities were in the Tyler District. 58 of those, or about 35%, were here in Smith County. You had about 39% in Smith County, 65 were single vehicle runoff road crashes. 6% cited distractions, 28% cited drug and alcohol, and 25% cited failure to use seatbelts. So I'm going to do a 20-year comparison, kind of looking at some data. I'll tell you right now, this comes from our district and county statistics that our finance division puts together. There's a lot of different places to get this information, so if these numbers don't look right to you, that's where I got it. So in 2000, there were 170,440 registered vehicles in Smith County. Last year, there were 218,921. So you had an increase of about 48,481, or about 28.4% registered vehicles here in Smith County. The population of Smith County in 2000 was 169,263. As a comparison, the entire district, all 8 counties, was 574,388. In 2020, the Smith County population was 231,516, Tyler District 709,171. So we had about a 37% increase in population in Smith County and about 23.2% in the district. So 46% of the population growth in all 8 counties occurred here in Smith County. We had in 2000 4 million, about 4.5 million daily vehicle miles traveled. Last year was about 5.8 million. So we had an increase of about 1.3 million daily vehicle miles traveled, 30.8% in the last 20 years. Over that same time frame, we've only added 45 additional lane miles of highway. So if you look, we've got 1.4 million miles more traveled every year, and we've added 45 lane miles of road. So it doesn't take long to put that together and figure out where our congestion is coming from. We spent about $26 million in 2000 on construction here in Smith County. Last year it was about $38 million, about a $12 million increase over that 20-year period. In 2000, we had 134 employees in construction, 251 in maintenance. Last year we had 100 in construction and 209 in maintenance. So we've lost about 76 employees, or what we call full-time equivalencies, FTEs, over that 20-year period. I'm going to talk now about the projects. I'm sure that's what most of you want to know about. I'm going to grab my glasses so I can read it. I haven't accepted any of these yet. So projects that are currently under construction. We've got Old Jacksonville Highway from 2813 south to Flint, 4-way to Flint. I'm sure you were all aware of it. We've gotten a lot of comments about that. Just to give you all some inside information, one of the issues, when we do an undersill on a roadway, meaning we put down asphalt and rock before the final surface, in this case for this project, has some pretty strict temperature requirements. When the contractor got to that point in the project, it was too cool to do that work. That's why that project was sat there until recently. Interstate from Jim Hall to US 69. I don't know if y'all been out there, I'm sure you have, or added frontage roads. You would be surprised at the inquiries we're getting about development, just on building that short stretch of frontage roads. There's a lot of development planned in that area, and it's going to be great for this area. State Highway 135 from Martin to True. That's a passing lane project. We're going to have passing lanes that will be finished this fall. Interstate IH-20 from FMA 49 to just west of US 69. We're going to be putting a new surface on that section. It'll be finished, but wrapping up now. That's the project's going to have a pore restriction course on it. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's a surface that allows the water to drain out through it and then out to the side, so it's drastically reduced our wet weather crashes. Trying to get that everywhere on the interstate. We've also got it. Most of 69 has a pore restriction course surface from here to Rush, almost to Alto, so you probably seen those projects. If you're driving down a road that doesn't have it, you get the stretch that does, the overspray goes away. It's pretty amazing what that does to wet weather crashes. We've got a project along 64 and 110 that has sidewalks. You've all probably seen, we were talking about it earlier, Colleen, the overpass at 69 through 46. That's wrapping up, should be finished this fall. We've actually had to go back, we built the overpass, had to go back and lower the roadway underneath so that we can get our clearance underneath the bridge. We've got a project on US 69 from the spur, 147 Energy Parkway to 31 to do some resurfacing. And then we just led a very large project on 155 from the loop to the Anderson County line to resurface that project. That's about a $17 million roadway project, which is pretty substantial. And that road needs it. I know y'all probably can't read this, and I apologize. But some future funded projects, we've got a project scheduled on US 271 from the interstate to 16 to rehabilitate and add some safety improvements along that corridor. We've got a project coming up on I-20 that will let next February from the Van Zandt County line east to 110 to add more of the PFC service. We've got a project funded on FM 2493 from 346 in Flint, south of the Cherokee County line. It'll widen from 2 lanes to 4 lanes with a flush median. That'll let in April of next year, about $32.6 million. That project also has a planned overpass that will come. We're actually going to realign on Jacksonville south around Bullard through the Black Creek Range and square it back into an actual four-way interchange there at 2493 East where Kate Bushman's is, and put an overpass in over Old Jacksonville on US 69. So I think that's going to provide a lot of benefit for that. It comes in at an angle now. We've had a lot of issues with that in the years. We've got a project on FM 16 from 4 miles west of 849 to 69 in Lindale, divided from 2 lanes to 4 lanes with a flush median. That'll let in June of next year. We planned that project on toll 49 to Lindale Relief Route section was built, knowing that there should be a lot of increased traffic going from toll 49 back to 69 there in Lindale. And so we're glad to finally have that in eyesight anyway. We've got a project on State Highway 64, Wolf Lane, to add a left turn lane. That's a highway safety improvement project. It's been in the news quite a bit. County road there near my house that Representative Schaefer got involved in, had several accidents there, fairly serious accidents there. So we're looking forward to getting that left turn lane installed. We've got a project on the interstate from Van Zandt County line 110 for PFC servicing. Project on 110 from Van Zandt County line to 1253 to widen that roadway to 28 feet and put on new surface. We have a project on Loop from 31 around the 69 north to add PFC servicing. That'll add in February 23. So I'll give you on the dates if you need them hard. We've got a project on US 271 from FM 16 to the Gray County line. That's another big widening project from 2 lanes to 4 lanes with a depressed median. It's about a $31 million project that will end in February of 23. Then we have a project on 110 from 64 to just south of Aberdeen Drive to resurface. In March of 24, it's about a $6 million project. We've got a project scheduled in April of 24 to expand Biloxi FM 756 from Jeff Davis south of 346. We're going to widen that from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The schematics, I'll take that project all the way to 344, but the section 346 and 344 is funded. You'll see it on the next sheet. We're hoping to put an interchange in there at 346 and 756. That's not funded yet, but Mr. Harmon's working on it. And with any luck, we'll have that funded and have that as part of that first project. And then we have a project on Rome's Quarter Road from 110 to 346, divided from 2 lanes to 4 lanes with a flush median. That's about a $25 million project scheduled in April of 2025. Our plan there is to realign Rome's Quarter and bring it in with Thistle or the signal, do away with that interchange there near 110. It's been a problem for a long time. I think it's going to provide a lot of benefit. Helping traffic. And then we have the project on Jackson Road from the loop back down in Gresham 2013 to go from 4 to 6 lanes. Also looking at improvements there in the loop and in Rocky Boulevard. These are a few projects that we've got work that we've been working on that we don't have funded. One is State Highway 31, one from the loop all the way to the Gray County line, widening from 2 lanes to 4 lanes with a depressed median. That's about an $85 million project. Jeffrey had recently completed the schematics to expand 31 to 4 lanes all the way from Gilmore to Tyler. It's environmentally cleared and approved. It's just a matter of getting those projects started for construction. There's the project on 756 that I mentioned from 346 to 344. We will have it environmentally cleared, but that piece is not yet funded. And then we've got US 69. From Southtown Boulevard to 1 mile south of 2813, widening from 6 lanes, 4 to 6 lanes with some intersection improvements. So that's Cumberland south to south of 49. And then we have a project, Jeffrey's got 2 consultants working on expanding IH-20. One's working in Gray County, one's working in Smith County. We're going from 4 to 6 lanes. We're fairly far along that process, but as you can imagine, that that is a large undertaking to get that funded. We're going to try to look at breaking that out into some smaller pieces so that we can get it funded sooner. But ideally, we hope to have IH-20 expanded to 6 lanes at some point in the future. So that's, totally plenty of time for questions. She said y'all like to ask questions, so hopefully that provided you some information. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Yes, sir.
Did you ever find who was putting out the little spikes?
No, sir. We actually had law enforcement involved. They set up some cameras. They did a thorough job working with us. They had an identified vehicle, but they never made an arrest. And then what he's referring to, y'all may not know, it was somebody out on the interstate that were throwing out little shards of metal. They looked like spikes, homemade spikes. Various locations down the interstate. We had DPS involved helping us with that. And, that's the world we live in. It's pretty frustrating. Sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have any information on when they're going to extend Alderwood 49 over 8?
That is Colleen's territory. That project is actually being done by the NetRMA. We had a member that sat in on the team and selected the consultant to work on that, but I'm not involved with that on day.
So we are, the next step in that process, so everyone knows, is to have a public meeting. It was placed on hold due to COVID. Once public meetings start to happen again, we're waiting for text stops to leave actually public meetings. So once those start happening again, we will have a public meeting and then get all the feedback that we need. Sorry. Oh, I can't do that. It's out of my control. We're on the federal process, the NEPA.
Right, something I didn't mention. We're bringing all our employees back in the office on June 14th. Most of us have been back. So hopefully things are going to return to normal. I'm for one, looking forward to it. I don't telework very well. I like being in the office, so we're ready. I think I talked over him, I'm sorry.
The project where you're on Rhodes Quarter, that effectively they're going to block the end of Rhodes Quarter where it now comes out on Shiloh. Where is it going to come out?
So it'll go to the west. There's a storage building place there. It essentially will tie into this one, which is that signal on 110, and then we'll leave enough to Rhodes Quarter, obviously, to access those properties, but it'll send you back through the line, and you can either take a ride from the Shiloh, or you can go on.
And you said that's going to start 2025?
That project's scheduled in April of 25, yes, sir, and it's currently funded. Yes, sir.
You indicated having a list of employees we no longer have, it looked like a significant amount, first amount of projects that are going on. What is the situation there? Are you hiring or in need of a lot more people, or are you keep the same technology that replaces those folks?
You know, it was political, honestly, years ago, as far as state agencies, big government, and how many people we needed to have, and this goes back years ago. And I'm not supposed to talk about politics on the state level, I'll get in trouble. But they just decided we had too many people back. You know, I was here, but I don't remember the year, a long time ago. We currently have 316 employees in the Tyler district. We were at 295 just a few years ago, so we're slowly starting to get some more back. The legislature approved 281 additional employees for the state in this session. And I'm told we're going to get a few of those. Probably won't be many, but I think people are starting to realize that we need more people. We do consult out quite a bit of work, and I worked for a consultant for a few years, so I understand their philosophy is you shouldn't have to work for TxDOT to build roads, but I think Mr. Harmon, I don't give a percentage, I'm going to put him on the spot, but at one point we were 60–70% of our design was being outsourced to consultants.
Yeah, in our advanced planning, we're 100% consultants. In-house design, we're around 50%, so 60–70% still accurate overall.
Yeah, and it sounds like that would help a lot, and it does, but we still have to manage those projects, and it still takes a lot of resources. The issue that we we have are honestly designers, people that have actual design experience that may not have an engineering degree. Those consultants really, they're highly sought after. It's just hard to find people with experience doing actual microstation plan work. And that's where we're really seeing a gap. So we're having to bring people in, right out of the field, right out of high school, or, and train them, and that's hard to do. We've lost a lot of talent, a lot of experience over the last 15 years, and it's just hard to replace. Yes, sir.
So, kind of a two-part question. One is, are some of these things federally funded? And then get your crystal ball out. If infrastructure passes, will that change the calculus on this stuff?
It certainly could, and a lot of our funding does come from gas tax. We're a donor state, so we get back only a percentage of what we send to Washington. I will tell you, Senator Nichols was instrumental in helping pass Propositions 1 and 7. Proposition 1 passed, I believe, in 2014, and it basically says, all right, we're going to keep the rainy day fund at a certain level, and the percentage of oil and gas tax revenue above and beyond that, some percentage of oil and gas tax revenue is going to go to transportation. And that gave us a big boost. It was several $1 billion a year statewide. Proposition 1 takes a percentage of the motor vehicle sales tax. It's a lot more complicated, the equation for that. Those two combined gave us a lot of state funding that we did not have before because the gas tax is just not reliable. People are driving more fuel efficient vehicles. Electric vehicles are here, and they're not going to go away. And so we're constantly looking for ways to increase revenue away from just the gas tax. But if we get the big infrastructure bill passed, it would certainly, you would think it would certainly mean a lot for the state of Texas. Yes, sir, Mr. Coates.
What does it cost to build a mile of road?
Yeah. I had that on my previous, the last road. Go ahead.
We were for the 7 miles for Glendale, it was $150 million for 7 miles of road.
The hard part of the equation just depends on what we're doing. If we're going down a foot, rehabbing the road completely, it's extremely expensive. Seal coat's what, $350 a square foot or a square yard. But that's just a seal coat. And of course, new location roadways are about $10 or $12 million a mile, depending on how many lanes you build. A lot of our new location roadways, like Code 49, we built 2 lanes. Because in TxDOT did build a lot of Code 49, when they made the connection to 20, we transferred that to the RMA. But we just back then it was pennies to the pavement. Believe it or not, there was some talk about the section from Rome's Quarter to 110 actually being this flex base, but no service at one point.
So what's the math on that? Like 2 million, about how much are we a mile? What's your $150 million? What is it, 20? You could reimburse a mile.
And that's for the most recent,
Yeah.
right? For the last time, it's probably more expensive.
Yeah, that's construction costs. That doesn't include right away and utility relocation costs. But if you get over in Gregg County, you're going to get a pipeline, and it's millions of dollars, and it's everywhere. Gregg County's worse than any other county by far. But it's back in 07, 08, and we had a pennies to the pavement on thing. We didn't have any money. We weren't really planning for future projects. So we were really looking at just what we could do to get something built, and that's where Prop 117 came in. Thanks to Senator Nichols, who was a huge asset, and brilliant man. He really helped us get that additional state funding that's provided a big boost that without we wouldn't be where we are today. We've got some really good projects that you've heard. Commissioner Austin's instrumental in a lot of that. He's no longer there, so as commissioners come and go, money kind of moves areas, so we're fortunate to get what we've got, and hopefully we can most of it. Yes, sir?
Is there a map kind of showing where the roads are being rerouted, like the boulder and stuff, where they're rerouted, and you can see that? Or?
A lot of that stuff is on our website. I don't know if that one's still up, Jeffrey. That's what Jeffrey's group handles.
That one is not, ones that we're storing for public involvement. Ford is still online, Biloxi's still on. Send that
When they're in the public involvement phase, we typically have a link on www.textile.gov. You can type in the road number and it'll take you to that interactive link. There's one for Jacksonville up right now from the loop digression. But anytime you want to look at any of that, and that stuff's been through the process, it's already approved, you'll be more than welcome to give us a call. We'll be happy to show it if you've got an area you want to look at. Yes, sir. I think I overlooked him twice.
I know they're putting a lot of the technology into the automobiles themselves, for these autonomous cars, and trucks, semis, all that. However, is there anything coming from a road construction standpoint where you've got to change your technology or put enhancements along the roadways to make this autonomous vehicle world work?
Yes, sir. It's way above my head, but they, at one point they were talking about putting solar panels in the pavement to charge the cars driving down the road. They're looking at putting some kind of cell towers along the right of way. That was some legislation that was passed previously to use that right of way to put in these GPS towers that help with some of that. We're looking at putting charging stations in some of our best areas where people can pull over and charge their vehicles. It's, I'm about to be 49, I'm not really young anymore, but that stuff's still, I'm old school, it's still hard for me to get my arms around, but it's here, it's coming, and there's a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of effort being put on that autonomous vehicle industry. Yes, sir.
For new construction, is concrete sort of the standard?
We don't do a lot of concrete pavement. The interstate we are looking at all concrete pavement on the interstate. There are there's a group that's obviously in the hot mix industry that's looking at perpetual pavements, which is an alternative to concrete because they don't sell concrete, which very thick sections of flexible pavement. But I guess we're looking at concrete in some of our intersections where we get a lot of stopping and starting motion, a lot of pavement, we'll see some of that in the intersections. We've done some concrete pavement. It's pretty rare in the Tyler district. It's really like the loop in Tyler. When we did the East Loop in 64, it's hard. It's extremely difficult to build concrete paved intersections on our traffic because of the pure time of drop-offs and having to route traffic. And that sounds like an excuse, but it is a challenge.
Any more questions?
Thank you all for having us.
Before you leave, will you draw a ticket and read the last four numbers?
You make it.
26 cars left.
I put my glasses up. Hang on, let me get back up.
I'll call it out for you.
5888.
5888.
5888. 5888. Hello, somebody must have it. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much. I will say that my husband drives 31 to Kilgore every day, so I'm appreciative of the extra lanes that you guys put in there because when we first moved here, I was terrified for him to drive on that road because there was a lot of bad things that happened. Okay, a couple of quick announcements. Board members, I sent out an email yesterday. We're going to have a very quick board meeting after this meeting's over. You'll just come up here, we'll stand, we'll get it done in 2 minutes, and everybody will be on their way.
By the way, we have 5 of clubs drawn.
5 of clubs, all right.
Cards, you need to get your tickets next week. This is huge.
Way to sell it, Micah, thank you. One of the upcoming projects that actually happens on July 2nd that I wanted to tell you about is there is the Rose City Air Fest taking place out of the Historic Aviation Museum. The Rotary Club's here in Tyler, the 3 of us, we're providing volunteers to staff, I believe, the VIP tent. More details are coming out, but if you're going to be around and available to volunteer, the proceeds for the event are going to benefit Camp B. And if you're not familiar with Camp B, it's an organization here in town that works with veterans. I did read in an obituary recently, I don't know the gentleman, but some of you guys might, who've been around for a while, Raymond Woodley. He was past president of South Carolina Rotary in 1973 and 74, and he passed away recently. Any other announcements before we wrap up? All right, well, I look forward to seeing everybody next week. We have our district governor, Jack Welby. He's going to be here speaking to us about Rotary fellowships. You wonder what Rotary fellowships are? I'm in one for wine appreciation, and I know that Amanda Fulmer, she's in the Flying Rotarians Fellowship, so you'll learn more about it next week. Any other announcements before we wrap up? John Hart, would you lead us on our 4-way test?
Sure. 4-way test of things we think, say, or do. First, second, third, and fourth.
Board members, first amendment, real quick.